What's up guys, Tyler here, and today I want to talk about how I think traveling can be extremely beneficial to your mental health. So really good for people with anxiety or depression, and this is based on my own personal experience and some of the things that traveling has done for me. Now, I just got back actually from Bogota, Colombia, a beautiful city, beautiful country, and beautiful women. Prior to that, if you guys have been following me for a while on social media or just watching these videos, you might know that I was in Ecuador, and then a little bit prior to that I was in Guyana. So I've really been doing quite a bit of traveling through South America over the past month or two. Anyway, I'm back now, and I just wanted to make this video because I really think it could be beneficial to some of you guys dealing with your own anxiety or depression symptoms. Now, the reason I feel this way is because anytime I get back from traveling, or just while I'm traveling, I always feel this surge of inspiration that completely eliminates any type of mental health issue I might have been dealing with prior to getting that traveling out of the way. So there's a reason why people tend to take or recommend taking a vacation every now and then from work, and it's because this really is so impactful on our mental health. Every now and then you do need to just get away a little bit, and your idea of traveling might even vary a little bit from mine. So I personally like a little bit more of an adventurous travel. I like to see the culture, I like to meet the people, I like to try the food, I like to, if there's a mountain there, I want to climb it. If there's some kind of activity I can only do there, I want to do it in that country. But if you just like going on a cruise or something a little bit more tame and safe, hey, if that's what gives you your surge of inspiration, then by all means. I think that traveling in general can be a really impactful way to improve symptoms of anxiety and depression because it helps to remind us of a couple of things. First off, it helps to remind us what we're doing this all for. We shouldn't just be living to work. Obviously, the way that we're living is not natural. Our brains didn't evolve to be working a 9-to-5 job. They evolved to be like hunting buffalo or something like that, but they didn't evolve for this, for sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, whatever. So every now and then it is really important to get away and to explore our planet a little bit. We live on a beautiful planet. We have all kinds of different amazing cultures out there, all kinds of different things to see, and you're never going to do that if you're just living your same monotonous life day to day. Now, I don't mean to call anyone out or to offend anybody if they don't get to travel. I think traveling is often perceived as this luxury that not everyone can afford, but I want to challenge your way of thinking a little bit. Obviously, traveling can be quite expensive if you are only going to stay, if you want to fly first class, stay at a 5-star hotel, do the most expensive things you can possibly do. But if you're willing to make a little bit of sacrifices and kind of rough it, so to speak, traveling is attainable for just about anybody. You can get a cheap, flexible flight ticket on, Spirit Airlines or something. You can stay at a hostel instead of that 5-star hotel, and you can choose activities that are within your budget range. Maybe you can skip the tour guide and just go on the walk yourself. As a perfect example of this, when I was like 19 years old, I think, I went to Singapore. Because I was actually living out in Australia for a little while, so I was already pretty close to the country, so I was bouncing around a little bit with some friends, doing some traveling, and I went to Singapore. And listen, I didn't have money. I was working at a pizza place in college, so I was working as like a host at a pizza restaurant, so I didn't have money to be staying at this luxury hotel. But I want you guys to look up the Marina Bay Sands. It's this like 67, I think, story high hotel that has an infinity pool overlooking the whole city of Singapore, which is a very beautiful, very expensive, very nice city. Obviously, I couldn't afford to stay at the hotel and just go to the pool as a guest, but I managed to sneak in. Now, I'm not recommending you guys sneak in, but I did manage to kind of finagle my way past the security guard and get into that pool and swim with those rich people in there. All this to say, not to go off on a tangent, but all this to say, traveling is within your means, even if you don't think it is. Or shortcuts you can take, not necessarily sneaking into things, but just making some small sacrifices. Anyway, whenever I've traveled, I always feel the renewed sense of like a new lease on life. I feel that just going somewhere new and seeing what's out there helps you to remember what you're doing it all for, as well as, you're meeting other people with different mindsets. I know one of the most profound things that changed my life was studying abroad when I was like 19 years old. and meeting all these other people. I'm from the US, and I was meeting people from like Germany who were maybe a couple of years older, but they were doing like a gap year, or they took a gap year like in between high school and college, which is not the norm in the US, but that's something that they would do over there in Europe apparently, just to travel. And you know, this is such a foreign, literally foreign concept to us in the US. Like, what? You took a year off in between high school and college? But when you think about it, it's like, wait, that's really cool. Like, why do we feel like we have to jump into, you know, academics work? Like, why can't you take a little time off and really figure out what you want out of life? You know, what's important to you. And the best way to do that is, the best way to feel inspired and know what's important to you is to get out there and talk to different people from different cultures and learn how other people are doing things. Because maybe the reason you're feeling anxious or depressed is because you're trying to force yourself into some type of box, or you're feeling like you're at a crossroads. Maybe you're feeling pressured by your family to go in a certain direction that's not actually ideal for you. Obviously, if you're doing something that's not in line with what's best for your psyche, this can lead to feelings of anxiety and depression, obviously. So it really is important every now and then to just break away a little bit, and like I said, hit that reset button, find a reason to get inspired, which for me, traveling has always been the most effective way to do this. I have memories distinct in different countries of just being at the ocean at night, letting the waves kind of hit my feet, and holding a beer in my hand with my new friends that I made abroad, looking at the night sky, kind of buzzed, and just being like, wow, I want more of this. Whatever I do in life, it has to lead toward more of this, because this is the high point. And at those moments, it would feel like anxiety or depression, anything like that, are impossibilities. How could I possibly feel any type of negativity while in that situation? Now, obviously, I'm not saying this is some cure-all across the board. I'm just saying it can really help, because when I look at people that do tend to be very anxious or very depressed, they typically don't travel very often. Now, this can obviously be because those mental health issues can be a catch-22. If you're feeling anxious, especially if you're agoraphobic, say, you're too afraid to even leave the house. If you're super depressed, it's going to be hard to even get off the couch. But every now and then, if you're able to, if you just have a burst of motivation to conquer those mental health issues, book that flight, make that plan, and just try to get yourself out of your shell, because it might be the solution you need to those mental health issues. It's really hard to feel anxious or depressed while you are in the Bahamas, I don't know, wherever, in Japan during cherry blossom season, having a beer with new friends at Oktoberfest, etc. I think that those are hard situations to feel really bummed out or anxious in, whereas if you're not going anywhere and you're giving into your mental health issues, and not leaving the house and not traveling, you're just going to create or propagate that vicious cycle where it's really, really hard to get out of your shell and travel in the first place. Anyway, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I'm kind of passionate about the topic. I love to travel, and I want to hear from you guys how traveling, or a recent vacation, or some kind of adventure you've been on, how it's impacted your mental health. Do you feel that this is something really helpful for you guys, or am I just crazy here and it's not that helpful for you? Let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you for sticking to the end, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that's really helpful for me. So that's all I got for you. I'll catch you guys next time.